Well, Kristin, it's that time again for the Traitors.
Yes.
So this week on the Traitors.
Episode, is it 8?
It was episode 8.
I think it's they named it A Bitch is Lying.
A Bitch is Lying?
Because Ciara said it. A bitch is lying.
Who was she referring to when she said a bitch is lying?
I don't know if she was referring to Danielle or Brittany. I don't know. One of them. One of the gamers.
Well, we open on the breakfast room, don't we? Who was killed in the face-to-face murder?
We'll talk about it, but it kind of surprised me who it was. I wasn't thinking it was going to be this person. Were you?
Was not thinking it was going to be that person either.
No. I
But
thought
Brittany-
this person was going to make it toward the end.
Brittany wants, I thought it was funny, like right up top, Brittany comes in with Danielle and she's like, my full trust is in Danielle. She's sure. You know, wait, her full trust was in Danielle that she's not a traitor? Or that she is a traitor?
No, that she's not a traitor.
That she's not, right.
Because
That
they're
she's
like
faithful.
best
Sorry,
friends forever now.
Right. So I got
Yeah.
that. Right. That's what I meant. Like she's totally, and I'm like, oh my God. So if it gets down to the end, because who knows? Who knows? But oof. And then Ciara feels great, and she can't believe Rob put her in a coffin and in her YSL boots.
Oh, I got
no
that.
less.
Yeah.
How
Like,
rude.
how dare he?
How rude. So Gabby shows up and tells them about how gorgeous it was with all the flowers and the candles.
Mhm.
So I guess what happened, as we are going to see, but we don't know yet, that if Alan showed up, you were safe. But if the
Yes.
traitors showed
If you
up,
turn around and it's Alan, you're good. And if there's the
you
traitors,
were
you're
killed.
dead.
You were killed.
Yeah.
And we find out what? Dum Sandoval is safe. Dun, dun,
But, okay.
dun.
I was happy to see him.
Yeah, he's
Is
been
that
comical.
weird?
This was the
He's
comical.
He's adding comic relief to this show.
This was the comical Sandoval episode.
I didn't want him to get murdered.
I wonder what he thinks of his edit on this. Like, I wonder if he's just like, oh my God. Or well, I think
You know, he is not getting a bad edit, though.
Well, he's just the comic relief.
He's a comic relief. He's a little goofy, but that's who he is.
he's not trying to be, right. But at the same
That's
time,
him.
I just think all Tom gives a shit about. There's an old saying in the publicist world.
Mm.
You know, someone who's thirsty goes to the opening of an envelope. And
Okay.
that is
Yeah.
Sandoval. They open an envelope, he'll be there all dressed up in his makeup, and he doesn't care as long as his ass is on TV.
Yep.
He don't care.
He doesn't care.
He don't care. Now I'm
Well,
worried
look,
about
I mean, he's getting a lot of buzz right now, right?
about
I mean,
microphones
like,
now.
who was talking about Sandoval before, except in a bad way? I mean, he's getting
Well,
some
he also
decent
put his
exposure
foot
right
in-
now.
He put his foot in his mouth at the round table, but we'll
yes,
we'll
he
get
did.
back to that.
Yeah, I was like, what are you saying?
Oh, I
God.
know, you dingbat. So now
Yeah.
Carolyn enters. They want to know what happened at the church. The traitors wouldn't know the outfit that he was wearing and how it happened. So that was actually really smart of Sam.
That was very smart of Sam. Actually, we learn a little about Sam. Okay, so he's from Iran.
Oh, is he? He's
And
Iranian?
he's Iranian. When he came here, he didn't really know a lot of English. I guess he was little when he came.
Okay.
And he learned how to listen and observe.
Oh, right. He did
I think
say
he
that.
said something about that.
Yeah, that's very
So
interesting.
I think that's explaining why he is so quiet. Like, I don't think
Yep.
it's so much about like he wants to stay in the
Observer,
shadows.
observer.
He's observing a lot.
But that's the
so
best
it was
way to
a
go.
brilliant thing to say. Like, if anyone doesn't know what Alan was wearing, then they might be the traitor. So they
Smart.
really got Carolyn on
That
that.
was very, very smart.
Because
They
Carolyn
almost
was
got her.
shaking in her
Well,
booties.
she was like, whoa.
Like,
Oh,
oh.
and then
She didn't answer, though. She didn't
well,
answer.
Gabby, I think
right?
again, she was making all her faces and doing all her stuff, and Gabby said that was a pass fail, but I think she passed.
You see, I was surprised because I was like, I think everyone's going to be onto her
But I
now.
think
And did you
Gabby-
see Sandoval was trying to help her?
But I think Gabby saved her. Well, no, Sandoval wasn't trying to help. He was just being dumb Sandoval.
He was
talking
doing
about the
yeah,
outfit.
like accidentally. He was
Accidentally, he was helping her. Right? He was like, no, he was in this plaid, and they were like, Sam
This
was
is where
like,
those-
Tom, like,
Shut up.
like, Tom, what? And he was like, and then he had this, and then he was just like, what? And then he did his dumb, like,
Yeah.
what am I doing? Face, you know.
But this just shows how fooled everyone is by Carolyn because nobody suspects her.
Carolyn,
Even with her, that was a fumble.
Yes.
Carolyn fumbled big time.
Well, she was like,
and
I
it
can't
didn't really
believe it.
land with anyone. I think for a minute, like even Sam was kind of looking at her like, but then it just kind of passed away. So, okay.
And then she was like, I can't believe I would have gotten, done by, if I didn't remember if he was wearing a hat or not. I don't know. She's freaking out, So,
Yeah.
Tom jumped in and did all that. And
Mhm.
so Gabby kind of saved her, too, when she was like,
Yeah.
it's a pass-fail, but she passed.
Mhm.
She was lucky there.
Very.
So cut to last night. It was between Dylan and Crishelle. And
I thought it was gonna be Dylan.
I thought it was going to be Dylan.
Yeah,
I thought it was
he
dumb for
just
them.
seems like a threat there.
Because he's just smart.
so
and
because he's
just
such a good player.
And he's liked, and he's smart, and he's pretty much like a proven faithful. I don't know. I think they made a mistake on that. But if it's a spoiler alert, Crishelle is murdered by the traitors. You know what I thought was interesting? She didn't look at all surprised when she saw who it was when that things came off. She was just kind of like, why me?
Yeah.
But she wasn't like, oh my God, it's you. I would have been like, shut up.
She really kept her composure with it. I know I would have been like, but you heard what she said, right?
What
She
did she
said,
say?
I wasn't surprised to see Danielle. I was surprised to see Carolyn.
Everybody's going to be surprised to see Carolyn.
Yeah, which is saying how brilliant she's playing this game.
It was like Suri
Yeah.
in the first episode from Survivor.
Yes, that's
was
right.
She
was so believable.
Amazing
I
at
know.
it. And she had everyone believed. Everybody.
She did.
And
yeah.
I'll just never forget the look on that other girl's face when she came out as the traitor, and that girl was so betrayed.
Devastated.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So, Crishelle is murdered. He evaded death for now.
But she said she appreciated the fabulous send-off. Gabby's very upset.
Wait, I have a question. Do you think they really put Crishelle in that thing and carried her, or they put the top on, and then they just carried?
That's a good point.
There's no
I don't
way
think
they're carrying her in that thing.
I don't think so.
Of course, I'm like answering my own question. Of course, they later in it put the top on, and then then got her out.
Because think about it. When you saw it getting carried out, you didn't see her anymore.
course
So
not.
I don't think she was in there.
I can't believe I even asked that question. What a novice question.
What if they dropped that? That would be at the end for her.
Exactly.
Can
I'm
you
like,
imagine?
there's not a freaking chance. I'm saying that, but I must have been. I had a few margaritas. And
Oh,
then I
okay,
watched
nice.
it. So that's why.
It was Laura's birthday, by the way, on Valentine's Day.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you. Happy
Yes.
Valentine's Day, everybody.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day.
The day love was born. I was saying Cupid was wearing a saggy diaper that leaked that day that I was born. No, I'm kidding. All is great.
The most romantic day of the year.
The most romantic day of the year. I have the heart-shaped face. Okay.
Yes.
So now we enter Alan. And he says, the sun has set on dear Crishelle.
Yeah, I love these.
The
These
peacock blue
lines.
suit and the awesome hat.
Yes.
Oh, my God. That was great.
I love it. I love his look so much.
Danielle wants to run this castle now with Carolyn. Now they're up in do they go up into the turret? Sandoval's surprised to be there. He was so funny. He was talking to that horse statue. He was like, stag statue, give me answers. I'm like, Tom is the comic relief right now.
He just thinks on a different way.
All
I
he
don't
cares
know.
about is what angle Tom is coming at. That's all he cares about. And I think he does try to be funny too, but he's not. He did a deplorable thing, but I don't think he's,
He doesn't have a bad heart. I think he's a
just an
self-centered
idiot.
guy,
Yeah,
and he's an idiot. Okay, I mean,
Now, here was an interesting piece of gameplay.
yeah,
When Tom asked Carolyn, what happened with you and Danielle? There was that little piece because there was that little bit where they were going after each other.
yeah,
And Tom brought it up when they were all kind of sitting outside. And
yeah,
then
because he's still trying to figure this out.
right. But it was interesting because she's like, if I, then we just cut to Carolyn going like, oh, now I'm going to start to be questions about that. Because she
Yeah.
for a minute. So it did get out there when, they were kind of going after each other for a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it did.
So I thought that was interesting that Tom, I guess they're just all trying to figure it out. Sam wants to go back to the coffin theory.
Yeah,
That one traitor was in the coffin. He's hell bent on the fact that it's Ciara. Brittany thinks she knows it's Ciara. But
Do you think Brittany's a good player?
I don't think she's anything special.
I don't either.
I don't know what she did on Survivor, or was she Big Brother?
Big Brother. Her and Danielle.
Big Brother.
Yeah.
I think Big Brother. I can't get into Big Brother. I have tried my best. I just think it's so dumb. Ugh.
I have never seen one. I don't even know the concept of what that show is about.
It's just they're in a house
Big
and they're
Brother.
voting people out. Who's the head of household? It's just like so dumb. They live there. I don't know. I'm just sorry for Big Brother. Big Brother. Sorry, Big Brother fans. It's no Survivor. It's no Traitors. It's just, I don't know. But people love it.
Yeah.
People love it. Now, Ciara is on the right track here.
Yeah.
Because she thinks Brittany and Danielle are way too tight.
Yes.
And one is a traitor. And Ciara is absolutely right.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. And she's saying we got to look at the gamers. They're gamers, the both of them.
Generally, they don't usually pick the housewives. I don't know why, but they generally do not. I don't know. At least in the last 3 seasons, they have not.
Yeah, as a traitor.
As traitors.
Well,
right.
we got Phaedra.
Oh, right.
That was the only.
But
But Phaedra's different.
But Phaedra is...
she was such a
She's
good
another
traitor.
echelon.
I know. She is.
She's another echelon.
She totally
of things.
is.
She's like,
Yeah.
so the housewife is like the 20th thing on the list.
Yeah.
You know, she's just like special.
Yeah.
All
she
right,
is.
now we get to the mission. The mission that was heard around the world.
This was so good.
Sandoval. Oh my God.
Well, when Alan was explaining it, I couldn't follow. I'm like, what is this?
It was
And then when you saw them play, I said, okay, I got it now.
So basically what happened for those listeners that didn't see it, well, we first have
Yeah.
to talk about Alan's puffy shirt. It
Yeah.
was fabulous. It looked like the puffy shirt from Seinfeld. And I love that he dresses up the outfits. Like he comes to the breakfast room and he's dressed, but then he takes it up a notch for the mission.
Yeah.
I just saw him. I just saw him in an interview.
Yeah.
It was so funny, and he was like, "Well, I do that in a character." He's like, "There's me," but he's like, "If I was talking to you as Alan, the castle maven, I'd say you too are a traitor." You know,
Yeah.
like he does this whole different character, and it's just so.
Yeah,
I eat
I
it
mean,
up.
this isn't really
I
Alan
just-
so much. This is Alan in character. When
Oh, I
he's his
just
host.
love it so much. I eat it up
So
with
do
a
I.
spoon.
Yeah, I mean,
and
no one could do it like him.
Sandoval was eating this challenge up with a spoon. So, all right. So
He
only
was.
only the 5 that go with Alan are eligible for the shield. So basically, they have
Ah.
to sing nursery rhymes. The dolls, the 5 that go, have to grab these dolls.
Yes.
The nursery rhymes are being sung backwards.
Yeah.
And then they have to sing it backwards. And then the people back at the castle sing it backwards into the Victrola, and it spits out a version
the
of
version
the
of
nursery.
what it
Yeah,
is,
was a
and then they
little
have to figure out
convoluted.
what the
It was
nursery
a little
rhyme is.
convoluted, but and
It
then
was
they-
it was hard.
it was not an easy thing. And
No.
listen, if it wasn't for Dum Dum Sandoval, they wouldn't have won any money.
No, they wouldn't have.
He's
They
like-
really had to thank him, or they were just leaning on him to do it. Like someone else would have had to do it, but I don't know if anyone could have done it as well as him. I give him
He's
credit.
like, I'm really the only one here that's musically inclined, I guess. And I'm like, you are not musically inclined.
Yeah, like what does
So
he
he was
sing
like,
on his in his band?
I was pissing my pants. That
Yeah, it was
hysterical.
hysterical.
And then
Oh.
the freaky ass dolls were spitting water at them. Like I feel like
What was that?
this show is just like, let's fuck with them. Like,
Yeah, I think it's a mind F kind of show. It just is.
And I love that Alan had a doll in his pocket square.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I love that he had a doll, like a little freaky doll.
Oh God.
Staring at. So, Sandoval was truly having an out of body experience. I feel like he was.
Yeah.
It was just hilarious. And Sam says, "Oh." When Sandoval was singing, at one point, Sam was like, "Oh, what's that horrible singing?" Sandoval's like, "What's that horrible sing? Ugh." Like he was like, "Stop! Can anybody else sing besides him?"
But the doll team, they had the harder job than the castle team. Because the castle
Yes,
team
they just
just
had
had to listen and then repeat it into the, what is the thing called that you said?
It was an old Victrola. It's just
Victrola.
part of the castle, an old.
Yeah.
But they're just playing it. It wasn't like it was decoding anything. They were just playing out the sound. And it was
Yeah.
enough for them to pick up. Oh, they said mice, 3 blind mice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It wasn't that bad once they were able to
Mm-hmm.
kind of catch on.
Yeah.
But Brittany was so funny. She said, Tom is warmed up, lubricated, and ready to sing away. And then Ciara said, Tom is debuting his lullaby album. She's like, so I'm going to look for a shield. But she was great because she
did find the shield. It didn't matter. But it doesn't it show the self-centered side of the player when all they want is the shield, because that's what those players were, except Tom, they only wanted the shield. Everyone was like, I just care about the shield.
But they got to understand, even if you get a shield, if there's no money in the pot,
exactly,
you're not winning shit.
Yeah, I know.
So,
I know.
So Brittany, what does she say? I have memories of Sandoval singing into the phone that will keep me warm for many moons to come. But guess what? She's up for murder.
Oh, yeah.
She's up for murder. And Ciara, of course, finds that little thing on the step,
the bear
covered
doll.
in leaves that said bear on it. I was like, okay. And of course, she finds the shield.
Yeah. And then they win $20K
for the pot. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Well, in the end, when they do that water challenge at the end, that water on the boat, and they have to like find it on these islands and stuff. That's usually where they catch it up to like the 250, because they really haven't banked a lot of money.
No, they haven't. No,
they really haven't.
No, I wonder how much do they have now? Do you know in total?
I'm not sure.
Probably
but
like
I mean,
270 or something
is the and that's not a bad payday.
No, it's not.
Not at all.
No.
Ivar says Ciara is number one on his list. And he says that to Danielle.
Now, again, everyone is looking at Ciara because of the coffin theory.
Because Sam's now re-up the coffin theory.
Okay.
Rob. That Rob and Dr. Bob the Drag Queen, they put her in there.
Yeah,
they
on
convinced
purpose.
her to go. So he's all hell bent on that theory. But he's wrong.
Yeah.
But Sam thinks it's Ciara. Gabby thinks it's Danielle or Brittany. Carolyn wants Brittany banished because then Danielle will be closer to her then, which makes sense now that they're this, right? So that's interesting, and we'll see that later when the turret comes around.
Yeah.
Carolyn talks to Ciara and says she doesn't trust Danielle and Brittany, which is true. Anytime in any of these games, when you're super tight as a duo, that's not good for you.
No, it's not.
Because then you're, the power of two, like the Indigo girls say.
Yeah.
You gotta,
And I just don't like Danielle at all.
I don't either.
I don't think she's not a good player. She's a scammer to me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like she's scamming all the time.
Yeah.
She's like a little bit, she's playing it like a bottom feeder.
Yeah. That's right.
But scammer's good too.
Yeah.
And then Ciara thinks it's Danielle, and she's like, there's too much crying. So Ciara's right onto it.
She is.
If she didn't get put in that coffin, maybe people might have listened to her.
Yeah. She tried to get it out there. She was telling Dolores, Ivar, and Sam about her thinking that it's Danielle, or she mentioned something with them thinking it's Danielle, but it didn't land with them because everyone was thinking it's her.
I know. And once people get on a thing, then it's hard to turn them around.
And I think they know that if that person's going to get more votes, like, why am I even going to try to vote for somebody else?
Exactly.
I might as well just get on the train.
Right. And it's also the group think, the group mentality.
Yes.
Go with the group. Tom and Gabby don't know. Sam is gunning for Ciara, and she sits down. Ciara is going to turn it on to Danielle. So now we hit the round table. Alan says, traitors, my kingdom for a traitor. Alan says that the people who... No, this is something I didn't get. Oh, I see what he was saying. I thought he meant that from this point forward, nobody was going to get into the circle of truth. I was a little because he said the people who are banished will no longer reveal their true identity when they're banished. So I got confused. But that's not what happened. I think he means like at the end. Yeah. You're not going to know. And you're going to have to go on your instincts. I got a little confused there. I hope I didn't just confuse anybody. But
that's what that went over me too. But now
I get it because at the final.
Yeah.
He's talking about the final.
At the end. Yeah.
So Ciara starts it off. There were no traitors in the coffin that night. We were all faithfuls.
Yeah.
And, they are right because Ivar says the next has to be a woman. And they're right. They've already gotten.
Yeah. I mean, it could throw people for sure if it was all men. But they have to throw a woman in there.
It stands to reason
it's an obvious thing.
Yeah.
So, of course, they are all in a way, the men must be happy because they're like, I'm not being looked at anymore because I wouldn't be a traitor.
Right, but they are
It's got to be
now
a female.
It's 2 women left. Now, I'm always going to call him Dum Dum Sandoval, but this was the dumbest of the dumb dumb. The dumbest of the dumb
Was
dumb.
it like it was a slip of the tongue?
He says girls are better cheaters than guys because they have better social skills. And they were like, what? Everybody was like, what? You should know. What? Girl, you crazy? You a cheater? What you know? And he's like, I'm sorry, I meant traitors, not cheaters, traitor.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
did he dig his freaking hole for
Damn.
that?
Was that a subconscious slip up? I think that he really
They
meant
were
to
like,
say
boo,
cheaters.
we know you know you're a giant ass cheater, Sandoval, you big dumb
Yeah,
idiot.
he's really
But yeah, Sandoval
foot
is
in mouth.
yeah. More than foot. The foot with the boot and the whole, oh my God.
Yeah.
With his Doc Martens just right in the mouth.
God.
Ciara says that Brittany has laid low and would be a really good traitor. So she kind of threw that out there.
Yeah.
And then there was this, she brought up a point about Jeremy
She
ended
said
up
Brittany
dead.
has skated.
Yeah, and then she said Jeremy ended up dead, and the last name he had in his mouth was Danielle.
Right.
Who said that? Did Ciara say that?
Ciara.
Ciara's really on.
She's
this.
very observant and smart. Yeah,
right. I
she
mean,
is.
less talking, more listening.
Yeah.
But she's really
She
right
took a
onto
lot
that.
of this in. She is. Yes.
And then Danielle comes back with her little defense saying, Danielle, she said, I voted for Boston Rob twice, and that people, she was close to were all killed.
Right.
So that was her case.
Yeah.
And she kind of did. I mean, that is kind of a good argument that she did vote for Boston Rob twice.
A little bit.
Or maybe you're just a shitty traitor, Danielle.
Yeah, you're just a shitty traitor. Maybe you're not a smart player.
Right. So everybody's going for Ciara, it seems. And then Ivar goes, excuse me, back to the coffin theory because he thinks they chose Ciara to get in the coffin, which we mentioned before.
Right, right.
So they're all voting Ciara basically, and the only theory they have is that coffin theory.
I know. I mean, there really wasn't much else. Again, Ciara this whole time hasn't made too much of an effort, it seems, to really get to know people that well. It seems like she's been a little more quiet and standoffish, and maybe she wasn't as liked. I don't know.
Just not, like we know
she was
Ciara,
just sort of,
she needs time to warm up, and you
right.
really don't have. I think they filmed
That's
this whole
not
thing.
the type of environment to do that.
I think they filmed this whole thing over like maybe 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
It's quick. Yeah.
It's not a long time.
No.
So
it might even be less. It might be 2 weeks
I thought it was
because
2
maybe
weeks.
it's every single day.
Oh, it definitely is.
So if there's like 14 episodes, that's 2 weeks.
And they were saying, oh my God, I was listening to somebody talking about, I was listening to Wells talk. And
Yeah.
he was just saying, oh my God, it's so long because like they have to shoot at night. Oh, and they're in this part of Scotland, the Highlands, I think, where it only gets dark for like 4 hours. So they have to shoot like all night long.
Ooh.
Like it's crazy.
It's only dark for 4 hours?
It's only dark for 4 hours.
And they have a lot of night scenes. Yeah.
Exactly. So he's like, oh my God, you're looking at the clock going, they're taking us one by one. They got to do the shoot, the walking scenes.
Yeah.
And, oh my God.
That's
like,
a lot.
It is a lot. It's exhausting.
And I think Ciara, after show was saying this too, that you can only talk on the phone for 30 minutes every 6 days to somebody.
I know. Right.
So you're really isolated from
you can
your
check
world.
Your texts or something. She said your emails. She's like, but I don't ever answer my texts. She's like, I don't answer them. So they're all so it was a unanimous vote for our friend Ciara.
And it's the first time I saw her get so emotional that I got emotional for
You
her when she
did?
was talking
Aw.
about how she's a fighter and she gets that from her mom.
Aw.
And I think she's saying the fact that I fought so much, it worked against her, I guess.
Probably.
It made her look more guilty, I
Aw.
guess. But it did. You saw that scene, right? Like it was.
I
She
did,
got
yeah.
very emotional.
No,
I
yeah,
mean,
no,
I felt
and
for
I like
her.
Ciara. She's,
No, I do too.
She's not. She's just not the warm and fuzzy.
Exactly. Right.
So
not.
she's into the circle of truth. I am a faithful. And left.
She goes, I will always go down fighting. I am a faithful. And then Sam says, oh, we messed up.
Yeah, and
or he said,
Alan
I messed up.
Alan said, any more faithful bloodshed here, we're going to need a mop.
Didn't he seem annoyed, Alan?
The mood was
He was just like,
he was like, you guys suck.
yeah.
You're ruining my game in my castle. You're rooting it. The mood is somber, I thought. Dylan feels so bad. She had the shield.
He went with the popular vote.
The banishment. I think Dylan...
He didn't want to vote for her, I think. He wanted to vote. I don't know who he wanted to vote for, but he went with the popular vote, and he said it worked against him.
So Dylan now and Ivar and Sam are talking in the secret room, and Dylan comes out and says, it's got to be a girl, and has to, I think he said, I have to suspect Danielle now. He's like, why did he say that he had to suspect her now? Maybe it was because of the...
Because I think he was thinking it was her
the Jeremy
a lot
thing,
of this time.
Maybe was brought up at the round table.
He's, again, Dylan is real smart, really good player. I think he's
love
probably
Dylan.
been
He's
thinking
like my
this.
new favorite.
It's been lingering with him a little with the Danielle.
On his... I follow Dylan now on Instagram.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
No, I never heard of this guy until this show.
No.
he's
Boston
great.
Rob and him are like buds.
Oh, sure.
They're buds.
Yeah.
The Traitors are in the turret. They're in the turret. And Danielle tells her that Ciara had the shield, right? Was it Danielle that told
Yeah. She said she definitely had the shield, and Carolyn wasn't sure, right? And she said, no, Danielle definitely, Ciara definitely had the shield.
And now there's a knock at the door, and it's Alan. I hate it.
I knew this was coming.
I hate to interrupt your traitor trash talk, he says. But the choice, murder a faithful or seduce a faithful to come and join you. Mm-hmm. Which is it, murder or seduction?
So Carolyn wants murder. And Danielle wants seduction. She wants to bring somebody in.
She wants to bring in who?
Oh, Brittany, yeah.
Of course. And Carolyn's
like, am I an idiot?
Why you're bringing your bestie coming in here so they can team up on me?
Nah.
No way. So Danielle says, let's do it for sisterhood. We'll make history. We'll split the money.
Yeah.
Carolyn says, no.
No.
I don't know why Danielle would even think that Carolyn would fall for such a pile of horseshit.
Because Danielle is a shitty player.
Sister,
she really is. She's a shitty traitor.
Love it. Exactly. Because
she's like, I'm going to get Carolyn now, and we're going to bring in Brittany.
Right.
Carolyn is a really smart player.
She really is smart.
It's she's like,
Carolyn.
do you think, is that what she said? Does she think I'm an idiot?
I know. She's like, why would you let you bring your bestie in here so you can knock me out? Come on.
Because that's exactly what they're going to do.
Exactly what they would do.
Yeah.
Thank God. No, Carolyn's great.
Let's hope she stands her ground and they do not let Brittany in there.
No.
I hope
no way.
No way. Who do you think they choose as a traitor if they do agree for the seduction?
I think they should. That's an interesting question.
Another girl?
I would bring in Dylan.
Okay, I would bring in Dylan. I was thinking, or Gabby, maybe. I don't know.
I would bring in a man.
Okay.
Just have a different, and Dylan's just
he's
calm.
trustworthy.
Exactly.
And I think Carolyn can trust him.
He's solid. You know what I mean? And I think they need some guidance.
Yeah.
I don't think Carolyn does. I think Danielle needs to be.
Oh, she's a loose cannon, man.
She is a loose cannon.
She really is.
She's all over the place.
She is they think Carolyn is all over the place. Danielle is all over the place.
Well, Carolyn knows how to put it on. She knows how to make the kooky version of herself stand out.
Yes.
It's perfect. It's the perfect cover.
Mm-hmm.
And until next week, is it murder or recruitment?
I wonder what it's going to be.
We shall see. But
who's
that's
gonna
episode
win?
9. I'm getting horrified. We're coming to the end of this, and I'm not happy.
No, I'm not either.
I'm very sad.
We got
about
a couple more episodes, maybe.
I might have to put on my jacket. I'm cold in my living room. I have the heat on 75.
Oh, okay.
And I'm freezing, but maybe it's because I'm channeling the Scottish air.
It could be, but it is Scottish air outside.
It is. It's rainy.
It's very
and
cold and
it's
wet
damp.
and rainy and
it's
damp.
As my mother would say, it's raw.
It's raw.
It's raw outside.
That's a good way.
Well, until next time, faithfuls, traitors, we will reconvene.
Will
next
it be
week.
murder or seduction?
Murder or seduction?
Yeah.
We will find out.
Yeah.
On the next episode of Traitors. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.